You ready to roll, brother?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's get this party started. We
What? Talk
are
about
recording.
habits?
I I think whether we
Habits.
like to or don't, I think we have to, and that's why I'm going to let you do all the talking. I will say that I think that this is a topic that is going to resonate with a lot of us because we all say we're going to do something or we all set out to do something and life happens. So I'm curious, Andy, I've gotten to know you a little bit and know what you guys do. You actually have a coaching platform. You are the habit guys. So why don't you give us, why don't you start and tell us a little bit about what you guys do and then just dive right in. I'll play peanut gallery and I'll just sit back and listen, brother.
Awesome. So pretty much we brought behavioral science into real estate. A business partner and I saw a big need. Real estate agents have crappy habits. There's a 90% failure rate in the business. There's too much freedom. No one holds you accountable, but no one taught agents how to change habits. So over 10 years ago, we brought that science into real estate, and that's what started this whole thing here. Why we've taken off, and we partnered up with a bunch of different companies and met amazing people like Jeff, because we speak that on something no one really teaches, which is habits. And I say the same thing at church. You can have amazing desires, prayers, vision boards. You want to lose weight, you want to do more, but if your habits are not in alignment with that, then guess what? None of it matters. So so today, guys, I'm gonna talk about why you guys say you're gonna do something but you don't. Why you say you're gonna prospect but you don't. Why you say you're gonna go to the gym but you don't. Why you say you're gonna eat right but you don't. And with the changes happening in real estate, I really feel, guys, and what do you guys think? I think that if the agents that stick around and get through this big change are going to be so much better off. But I really think the agents that don't change their habits, don't prospect like they should, don't increase their level of professionalism on conversations, and um, are really going to just get left behind. So we're going to see a huge shift. And I really think habits is going to be at the cornerstone of that more than ever. Big time. Because those old habits, riding a hot wave, you didn't have to be good in real estate. Let's be honest. You didn't. You just needed a cute smile, a nice white BMW here in Miami. It's like the real estate starter kit, like a white BMW, cool website, a cool, a custom suit, and you were selling, $500,000 without a problem in this business, in GCI. So today I'm going to go into it. So Jeff, do you want me to just give it like do like a 30-minute, 40-minute explanation? I can go into that, and then we can do Q&A after. Is that a
Yeah.
format we want to go ahead and do?
Absolutely. And if you're new here, you're welcome to drop questions in the chat. We try to leave some time at the end, so you're welcome to unmute yourself and ask questions. But while Andy's talking, just try to drop the questions in the chat or just write them down for yourself to ask later. And yeah, Andy, take it away. And if I have anything to say, or if anybody has any profound question that I want to interject, I will jump in.
Awesome. Can I just have sharing permission? That's what I'll just need. If you can give me.
Yep, and I'll give that to you.
Awesome. Perfect. So I'll share this masterclass right here. Do you guys see my screen? You guys see that? It says habit, guys. You see all that? Okay.
Yep,
So
got
I'll
it.
just go through the slides here, guys. So we are the habit guys, and I'll tell you a little bit about like how we got started. But like I said today, I'm just going to show you guys why you guys say something is important to you, but you never seem to do it. And it has nothing to do with motivation. It has nothing to do with willpower. It has nothing to do with wanting to do something. So I'm going to share with you guys what that is. And I'll skip a couple slides just to kind of get through that there. There's a major problem happening in real estate. So I'm not sure if you guys knew this, but according to the National Association of Realtors, 90% of agents pretty much quit the business. And NAR simply says it's simply because agents don't prospect. So I'll do a quick pop quiz for you guys. If you guys can just add it in the chat. Out of these different methods of prospecting, like which one do you think is the best in real estate? Number one, two, three, four, or five? Put it in the chat if you guys could right there. Boom.
You're
Yeah,
missing, you're
Jeff.
missing, you're missing the one that I would put on there that I preach is number one, which is social media. So, yeah, I'm not going to vote.
Actually, I got to put that in there. You're right, because then I can throw everybody off. You're right. I'm going to do that, man. Jeff, I'm going to add that. So, social media. I'm going to add that to the deck for sure. Social media to the lead slide. Okay, for sure. Kendrick, you got it. Perfect. Now, there's some favorite ones here, but Jasenia, you got it. It's the one you do consistently, right? That's the best one because they all work. They all work. There's so many ways to lose weight and get nicer glutes and chest and arms. There's so many ways to do it, right? But it's the one you actually do consistently. And we're going to talk about that today. All right. So the problem started simply because agents brought their habits from the past into today, and we're going to get into that. So, guys, I used to work for Tony Robbins, Zig Ziglar, Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad. That's my background. That's who I am. I played college football at FAU. I'm back over there somewhere punting a football, because my size, I'm only 5'9", but I'm tall for Miami, by the way. In Miami, we're kind of short over here if you've ever been to Miami. And I played college ball. And I tell you that because my dad couldn't go to all my games because my dad was working a job. And so I quickly learned growing up, I don't want a job, I want a business, right? So I definitely got into real estate in 2007, teaching real estate agents, giving them CE credits for brokers and agents. And then I quickly learned in real estate, like, oh man, there's a big gap between what we taught in the Tony Robbins world and behavioral science and what we teach in real estate. So if you guys want to write this down, please do. Like, these are the 4 fundamentals to be successful in real estate. Strategy, very important, right? Jeff talks about this as well. Absolutely. You have to have the right strategy in your business with social media. Absolutely. And then there's a ton of productivity programs out there. There's a ton of coaching programs out there. And the one thing that you need to understand is your habits, your behavioral science. And so that's what I said at the beginning. We found that gap, that nobody was teaching behavioral science. People were talking about strategy. People were talking about productivity. People were talking about coaching, a lot of coaching programs, but no one focused on habits. And then that started Habit Guys. Over 12 years ago, there's my business partner, Mike, because you can't be guys without another dude. So that's the other dude. That's Mike, author of our best-selling book. We're partners with Red X. I teach at Gold Coast, which is one of the largest licensing schools here in Florida. God has blessed our business. We are serving thousands of agents all across the world. We've got a best-selling book. So if you want to check it out, just Amazon Habit House and pick up a copy. But that's a little bit about who we are. We brought behavioral science into real estate. And then when we change your habits, just our students make money. It's real simple. When I change your habits, you make more money. And that's what Denise did there. So let's get into why you say you're going to do something, but you don't. You have to understand where this comes from. So we have 2 different agents. Agent Stephanie, who's making $200K a year, and Agent Tom, who's making $40K a year. Now, when you ask somebody what the difference is between a top producer and someone who's struggling, people say, oh, Stephanie has better goals than Tom. No, they have the same goals. And remember, guys, rich people and poor people have the same goals. So it's not about goals, all right? People say, oh, it's about resources. Stephanie has better scripts. Stephanie has a better CRM than Tom. No, same resources, same knowledge, same education. The difference between Stephanie and Tom is Stephanie takes action, Tom doesn't. And I'm not talking about massive action. This is not a Tony Robbins massive action, massive change seminar. Nope, this is about consistent action, small change for big results, right? Because nobody sees Stephanie prospecting consistently. And Tom, he's only prospecting whenever he feels motivated or whenever he has time, okay? Or whenever he learns more. I hear that a lot. Oh, when I learn more, I'm going to prospect more. No. So today we're going to talk about that. What's getting in the way of all that? So it's not about massive action. It's about consistent action. And guess what? Just because you know better doesn't mean you do better, because I know a lot of agents who know what to do, but they just don't do it. right? They know how to prospect. They know they should be more on social media. They know they should be doing it, but they just don't do it. So we're going to get into that. So let's talk about making change and taking action. So if you want to create change for the long term, you're going to have to learn how to break your old habits and create new ones. So if you guys have tried to make change before, like learning how to exercise, new gym routine, you know how hard it is. And at the same time, haven't you guys noticed that some routines are like super simple to do? Like even the lousy habits you have, like watching too much TV or getting hooked on a show, and you're like, how the heck did I get hooked on this? Like, why? That's so simple. It's ridiculous, right? So why can't we make the right type of change in our life and business? So write this down. The first reason why people don't lose weight the way they want to, or eat right the way they want to, or prospect, or do social media like they want to, it's because they try to change the wrong thing. So put that in your notes, wrong thing. And the second reason why is because they try to change the wrong way, okay? In the wrong way. So let's first go over what does it mean to change the wrong way. So according to science, there's three different levels of change. Number one is called outcome change. So put this in your notes. Outcome change is when you say things like, I want to lose weight, I want to make more money, I want to drive a fancy car, the things you want. And then the centerpiece is called process change. Process change is when you say things like, man, I'm going to join a new brokerage, I'm going to get a new CRM, a new website, new marketing campaign. Awesome. The things you're going to do to get the things you want. And then the third piece, please put this in your notes. The third piece to change is identity change. That's where your belief system lives. So that little voice in your head that says, man, I hate prospecting, or I hate the morning, I love the morning, I can't afford that, right? All these little beliefs that we have in our head, that's what you believe you can or cannot do, okay? That's your belief level. So outcomes is what you get in life, process is what you do, identity is what you believe. Now, the major problem is the direction of change. What does that mean? People focus on outcomes, and that's why they don't make the change they need to, instead of focusing on identity, okay? Now, to help me with this, there's only one direction of change that actually leads to long-term change. So let's talk about how people usually make change. People say usually, you know what, Andy, I want a better relationship. I want to make more money. I want to lose weight, a bigger house, fancy cars, clothes, vacations, more money. And then people say, you know what can I do to get those things, right? What can I do to get those things? And then they join the gym, they get a coaching program, marketing campaign, but that's not a solution though, because think about what we see on social media or the news. Isn't it true? Everyone only shows you their end results. No one shows you the process. No one shows you what they did to become that millionaire, to have those abs or whatever it is, right? And this is the key right here. The reason why people don't make the change they need to, because they don't understand this. And please write this down. Because behind every system of actions is a system of beliefs. Behind every system of actions is a system of beliefs. What does that mean? That means that behind everything you and I do as humans, you do it because you believe it or you don't believe it. So if you're not prospecting enough, guys, if you're not posting enough on social media, if you're not productive enough, if you're not following up enough, it's simply because the current identity you have now and the current and the identity you actually need to do those things, there's a big disconnect. And that's why you're not going to the gym, working out, prospecting more. It's an identity problem. So to help me with this, to explain to you what it is let's talk about making money. So we graduate high school, college, right? Let's talk about the strongest identity, and that's making money. So in the chat section, guys, let me know. Where do the majority of realtors start after high school? Or just anybody? Do people start off getting a job or starting their own business? Where do the majority of people start their careers? Starting a job, right? Greg, thank you. Sean, Kendrick, yep, right? They get a job. And with a job comes a belief system, okay? When you are an employee, you believe in structure, right? you believe in a paycheck. You don't care if you have a good week or a bad week, you're still getting paid, right? Also, when you do something at work, you get a result. You call somebody, they pick up the phone, right? You have meetings, people don't ghost you. It's the coolest, weirdest world ever, right? And also, employees have what's called a locked mindset. I work an hour, I get paid an hour. This is just the way I am. It's a very fixed way of thinking of things. We've got a locked mindset, all right? But then as an entrepreneur, though, there's a whole different belief system. Financial freedom. An entrepreneur understands I can work 2 hours a day. I can work 12 hours a day. I can work holidays. I can skip work for a week. It's whatever you want to do to get the job done, right? They do whatever it takes. And also, an entrepreneur believes that work doesn't always lead to a result. And they can do something today and not get paid for it ever. And that happens in real estate. It's a different mindset. It's an investment mindset. Entrepreneurs I may not have the money for this now, but if I invest, I can get whatever I need back, right? It's an ROI type of investment mindset, okay? But by the way, as agents, this has happened to us where you're showing a property around you're showing a buyer around for 6 months or a year, and then all of a sudden that buyer doesn't want to buy from you anymore, right? Or interest rates change. Has that ever happened to anybody here today? You can raise your hand there, right? Has it happened? Right, it's happened to me and my team a couple of times, right? If you have an employee identity, an employee belief system, an employee mindset, that's going to break your heart. But if you have an entrepreneur belief system, you're going to be like, oh, well, on to the next one. No big deal. All right. It's a different mindset, different identity. So when the employee leaves the employee life to become an entrepreneur, here's what happens, guys. A lot of real estate agents physically are entrepreneurs. Yes, they are. But guess what they brought with them? They brought their employee belief system with them. And that's why when they make prospecting calls for a week or two and they get told no, they quit. When they get to no, they get stopped. When they haven't been paid in 6 months or whatever it is, they don't know how to react. And that's why nearly 90% of agents quit the business. Because physically, they're entrepreneurs, but mentally, they're still employees. Because good habits make a ton of sense. But if they conflict with your identity, you're going to fail to make change for the long run. Because you guys know you should be eating better, working out more, making more calls. You know that already, okay? But if the actions to do those activities go against your current identity, you won't be able to make the change you want. So a question people ask me is, yo, Andy, this makes total sense. Okay, identity. Wow, okay. So how do you know if you have an employee identity? So this is how you know. You have an employee identity if you know you need to prospect more to make more money in your business and you're not prospecting more because of these reasons. Number one, you don't know what to do or say. You're like, Andy, I have no idea what to say. I just kind of wing it. I have no idea what to say. I just kind of wing it. Okay, that's you. And you don't prospect. Great. Some people are like, Andy, I know what to say. I know what to do, bro. Chill, man. But they feel super nervous and anxious right before they do. Their mind starts racing. And then they're like, their heart's racing. They're sweating. Their palms are sweaty, right? And then they stop and they do something else. Now, some of you are saying, Andy, I know what to do. I know what to say. And I'm just straight chilling. I don't worry about it. I can prospect all day. I don't worry. I'm great with people. It's easy peasy. All right. But they don't focus. They do everything in their business besides prospect. Because we told agent Tom and Stephanie when they first came to us with our coaching, they're like, oh, yeah. What do you do? Well, it's simple. Just make 5 friends a day. Have thousands of conversations with people. And by the way, it can be cold leads, warm leads. It doesn't matter. If you want to make 6 figures in this business, connect at least with 5 people a day. Okay. And Stephanie understood this. Great. We changed her identity. She joined our coaching, made sense. But Tom was like, nah, man, And listen, I'm not a people person. I'm not good at prospecting. I'll do it later. I'm uncomfortable. I don't need help. And Agent Tom's limiting beliefs were just running wild. So check this out, guys, because this is what it's all about right here. So let's look at Tom. This is what Tom is doing. Tom, oh man, Tom has everything. Tom has Jeff's coaching program. He's got our coaching program online. He's got, man, all the social media templates, scripts. He's got RedX open. He's got the scripts printed out. He downloaded them. He knows what to say, do research. He is good to go. He's about to make his calls. We've been telling him to make calls. And by the way, so you know, I'm going to give you, at the end of this, I'll give you guys the scripts that we coach our students with. I'll give you guys the morning routines. I'm going to get everyone here today. You're going to get the same tools. Guys, boom, have it all. This is what we give our coaching students. You'll have all those tools. I'll give it to you guys. We give it to Tom. Tom has all these tools. He's ready to go. Now, right before he's about to prospect and make his calls, he starts to feel a little bit uncomfortable. And he's like, wait a minute. I can't prospect when I'm uncomfortable. So then before he makes his calls, he's like, you know what? I need some motivation. He listens to some Tony Robbins videos, right? He watches some Rocky Balboa, old school, I feel like, dun, 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 Rocky soundtrack, getting pumped up, fired up. He's like, yes, now I'm ready. I'm going to make my calls now. I'm good to go. I got my vision board. I did my mantras. I did it. Cool. Now I can make my calls. All right, cool. But then right before he's about to make his calls, he looks at his desk and he's like, dang, man. Oh, let me organize my desk real quick. Hold on, let me just clean it. All right. And, let me go ahead and clean the bathroom real quick. Let me go cut the grass real quick. Let me go pick up the kids and just drop off the lunch maybe, or whatever it is I got to do that I forgot to do. I'm just going to do it. All right. Because I can't prospect with a messy desk. And he starts doing all these different tasks. All right, great. So now he's like, all right, now I'm ready. I organized my desk. I did it. I'm good. Wait, is that coffee? You know what? I need my cafecito, right? And if you guys are from South Florida, coffee is the love language out here. That's how you make friends out here, with some coffee, all right? So he gets his coffee. He goes to his kitchen. He brews it. Goes to Starbucks, whatever it is. Awesome. And then he's like, all right, now I'm ready to prospect. But then he goes, wait a minute. I think I have to go to the bathroom. I'm not sure. And he's like, you know what? Let me go to the bathroom real quick. I can't prospect until I go to the bathroom. You know what? Let me look at the MLS real quick. Let me look at the research to see the price per square inch, the interest rates in China. Just in case somebody were to ask me a question, I need to know everything happening so I don't sound like an idiot on the phone, right? All these thoughts going through Tom's head. So you guys see what's going on here, right? Agent Tom does everything besides prospect. Oh, he'll watch Netflix. It's funny how people have more time for Netflix, but they don't prospect. Or here's a good one. They're too busy working their 4 deals they've been trying to work on for the past 6 months, calling them over and over and over again, or the same database over and over and over again, right? And then when they're done closing those deals, they have no deals behind that pipeline whatsoever. So their business is very up and down. Or here's another one. Andy, I don't know how to prospect. I never have. I don't do it, but I'm going to hire a VA to do it for me. That is hilarious. So you're going to hire someone to make calls for you, and you have no idea what to say or do after that call, and you don't know how to hold them accountable to make sure they actually know how to follow up with that, and you have no system in place to actually make sure they're doing a good job for it? No, not at all. Or other coaching programs that are not holding them accountable with their habits and all. So you guys see what's going on here. That Agent Tom starts to do everything in his business besides prospect. And prospect is the most critical part of our business. And this happens to most agents, and they don't even realize it. And guess what happens? Most agents blame themselves or others and eventually quit the business. And the problem was, it wasn't Tom's motivation or willpower. It was Tom's identity that was killing his business, because he's used to always working and doing something and getting something. Okay? Doing something and getting something back. He's not used to being in this world where he does something and doesn't get an immediate return. And tools without habits just don't work, guys. And you know this. A lot of agents have amazing websites, amazing leads coming in. Zillow says over 70% of leads coming in are never called back. People buy leads, never call them back. Business cards, marketing, they're geniuses. These people know so much about real estate, but they're not prospecting. I got 19-year-old kids coming out real estate school who are crushing it. They have no idea what to say on the phone, but they're pounding the phone, making 6-7 figures. They don't know anything about what's going on, but they're making calls and they're crushing it, right? So that's why I tell people tools without habits just becomes a gem that you never go to. That's why. That's why habits is so important. So of course we can all relate on some level, right, to the Tom story. So to change that identity, you have to change your habits to go to that next level, okay? Because check it out. If I were to give you the body of your dreams, okay? If I gave you the biceps you've always wanted, the abs, the legs, if I gave you the plan to keep that body, when to wake up, when to work out, when to take breaks, what to eat, if I don't change your identity, you're not going to change that body or keep that body of yours. You won't be able to maintain it because you haven't changed your habits. Why do you guys think lottery winners go broke? Because they haven't changed their identity. Does that make sense? They're still running on a poor identity. And until you don't change that identity, you're always going to get the same results, okay? Because behind everything you and I do as humans, we do it because we believe it or we don't believe it. And that's what we have to change in real estate, okay? Same thing in business. If Jeff gave you his $10 million book of business, all the tools, resources, everything he did to build his business, to build his empire, you would not be able to maintain that business because your current results are tied to your current identity. And little by little, as someone can give you their business, you'll be like, you know what, man, I'll prospect tomorrow. I'll prospect later. I'll call my leads next week. I'll post that tomorrow. And then that $10 million book of business that someone just gives you, right, just dwindles down to whatever you're making today. So a lot of realtors think they're ready for success, but they're not. Because if I were to give you 10 times the amount of business right now, if you don't have a system in place and an identity to carry that system, it would break you. Because imagine, if real estate agents don't even have the right system and habits to do the work today with the little they have, imagine the next level, right? So that's why you have to change your identity. And the big reason, and I'm going to tell you right now what it takes to do so, to have that identity, you need habits of a top producer. So actually, take a picture of this here, because people ask me, Andy, how do you change your identity? Or put it down. Habits change your identity. Okay? So if you want to change your belief system, if you want to change that identity, you want to change, like, Andy, man, that's me. Well, the way to change that is not willpower. It's not motivation. It's not a vision board, right? You have to change your habits. That's it. And by definition, a habit is something you've done so often that you don't even think about it. It's on autopilot, okay? And a big thing I ask people is, well, how do you expect to change your habits if you don't even know how it works? So let's talk about how it works. So write this down. This is the biology of a habit, all right? So you need data, desire, response, reward. Data is an example, your phone goes off. Oh, beep, it beeps. Desire is, I wonder who just texted me. Awesome. Response is, the phones are usually close, so it's easy for us to grab because our phones don't go too far from us, right? So the response has to be quick. And reward is, oh, it's my mom calling me or texting me. Great. Now your brain releases dopamine and says, awesome. We felt really good there, Andy. What did you just do? And my brain goes, oh, we checked the phone. So now your brain says, if you check the phone, we're going to feel good, right? Or how about we guys check your email? You guys, who here feels great when they start deleting emails and it's like inbox 0? Because I do. Right, Greg? Jeff? Right? It's like a dopamine release. I'm like, oh, it's so good. I just deleted all my emails, right? Or all the unread messages are gone, right? That's your brain going, oh, that felt good. So then your brain goes, check your email. Make sure all those unreads get read, right? So marketing companies use this against us to use Hulu, to use Instagram, right? Jeff, unsubscribes, right? That feels good too, right? Like, oh, dude, unsubscribe. I never have to hear from this person again. Oh, so good. You're right, man. That's actually good. That's good. You're right. Unsubscribes do feel great. So your brain goes, man, that felt good. Let's do it again. And even if that behavior is poisonous for you, you're going to get in the habit of doing it. Does that make sense, guys? So even though you're in the habit of being distracted and it's destroying your business, your brain still says, keep watching Netflix, keep checking those emails, do something else, right? So for good or bad, these habits are working for us. So my business partner and I said, man, why not use this science to our favor, right? The same science that gets you hooked to the phone for bad things, we get you hooked to the phone for good things. Consistently prospecting. So you actually prospect whether you feel it or don't, okay? So how do you use this science in your real estate business? Write this down. This is in our program called Habit University, and it's called the 4 Factors to Financial Freedom. So you need 4 parts to make a behavior an actual habit. So check this out. You need to make the new behavior that you want to do. So if you guys want to lose weight, prospect more, you have to make it noticeable, appealing, simple, and enjoyable. And you can't skip any steps. Because if you skip step number 1, the habit won't start. If you skip step number 2, you won't experience enough motivation to even act on that new behavior. If you skip step number 3, guys, and you make prospecting too difficult or working out too hard, you're not going to do it at all. All right? Or number 4, if you don't make prospecting enjoyable and it's boring and you're not rewarding yourself, there's no reason for you to do it again. All right? Now, it's not that simple either, guys. There's 15 other sub laws that you must abide by. You can take a picture of that if you want as well. Okay? Those are the pillars of building the habit. Because if it was just 4 steps, all of us would have abs and millions of dollars. Trust me, right? But it's more than that. To make prospecting a habit, you have to go through these 15 sub laws. All right? And that's what we did with Stephanie. Now she's prospecting. She's crushing it. She's doing awesome. Okay? Making more money, but getting her life back. That's the most important thing, is doing what you're supposed to be doing. No better feeling. So as you create a habit, the evidence builds up and your identity changes. And think about this, everybody. The way your employee identity was formed, the reason why agents have employee identity is because of our past. Because we have evidence of being an employee for so long. So in the chat section, guys, tell me, how many years have you guys been an employee? For me, it was 18 years. 18 years for me. For Tom here, 10 years being an employee, working for somebody else. How about you guys? How long have you guys been an employee before coming to real estate? Julie, 5 years. Greg, there you go, 35 years. Think about that. Katrina, 6. Jeff, 30. Haven, 4 years. 8 years, Sean. Think about that. So we have years of being an employee, right? That's why it's hard for us to change identities, because we've been so used to working for somebody else and being in that system that we don't know how to create it over here in the real estate world. That's what's happening. And the process of building habits becomes the process of building the person you want to become. And the cool part about habits, which I love the most, yes, you make more money. I get it. That's cool. But that's not the end goal. The end goal is this. When you do what you're supposed to do in life, there's no better feeling, guys. It's called integrity. When you are integrity with what you're supposed to do in life, life is amazing. You glow more. You're happier. You smile more. People don't piss you off, right? But haven't you guys noticed when you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing and you're in traffic, doesn't traffic piss you off more? Don't your kids piss you off more when you come home and you haven't done what you're supposed to do and you know you did it and they want your time? You get pissed and you get annoyed, right? But when you prospected, you worked out, you did your meditation, and then you get home, guess what? You're like, Oh, someone sticks your finger out at you. You're like, okay, great. God bless you. No problem. I'm good. Life is great. Doesn't matter. That's what's so cool about living life in integrity. Christina, that dog is awesome. Who is that? That's hilarious. Because my cat sometimes pops up in the middle of my presentations. He'll show up. He'll show up behind me. I love it. That's your assistant. It's his world. Bruno, what's up, Bruno? Yeah, my cat Coco sits in that seat sometimes right there. So he's my assistant too. He just makes sure all the printer paper comes out. When the printer turns on, that's when he jumps on it. So guys, you guys have the power to change your beliefs about yourself. Your identity is not set in stone, and you have a choice in every moment to change your habits. Because guys, listen, the real reasons why habits matter is because it's not about having something, it's about becoming someone. Becoming someone of integrity, becoming a top producer, not for the money, but for the behavior of having those conversations as you should, building that pipeline, having that lifestyle. So imagine doing what you're supposed to be doing and living that life. And that's what it's all about, guys. So my promise was simple. I was going to show you why you say you're going to do something, but you don't. And now you know. It has nothing to do with willpower, motivation, mantras, vision board, goals, none of that stuff. It's habits, guys. It's habits. So if you want to change your business, you guys want to get ready for the changes coming up in real estate, it's about changing your habits. And that's what it's all about. So guys, I don't know if you guys have any questions, any comments about all this, but this is something, guys, that I'm super proud of to bring to you all. Because once we learned about this and we did it, man, this changed everything for us. Changed everything. So identity is your belief system. Good question, Greg. It's your belief system about yourself. It's what you believe you can or cannot do. So we have employee identities and we have entrepreneur identities, right? And until you don't change your identity, it's going to be very hard for realtors to succeed with an employee identity. Real difficult because they're not used to it. They'll quit.
I'd
Any other
I'd
questions?
like to ask a
Yeah.
question. First of all, somebody did ask how they can stay in touch with you on social. So maybe drop that in the chat, maybe links
Oh, for
there.
sure.
But I'm curious as
Here's my
to,
personal and business.
for those
And
of
also
you listening,
if you guys want routines and scripts and all that, there's a link to download our scripts, our morning routines, all that stuff. We have a ton of free content, guys, you guys can take advantage of. What was that, Jeff? Sorry about
I
that.
was going to ask,
Just all my socials.
for anybody listening, what is a habit that you might be thinking about right now that you need to make a change or make a shift or apply this like immediately? I'd just be curious to know what our industry is thinking right now. Put it in
Yeah.
the chat, unmute yourself, whichever one you want. We've still got 20 minutes, so happy to have
Yeah,
conversations
ask
and
away.
talk about it. But
We can talk about habits,
I'd love to hear
prospecting.
what
Yeah.
you guys have to say. My wife's doing 75 hard right now. My daughter's doing 75 hard. I mean, talk about
No
habits.
way.
Yeah.
What day are they
That's
on? They just started?
yeah, my wife, this is like the third or fourth time she's done it. My daughter, it's the second time she's tried to do it, and I know several friends, it's just a popular thing, but man, talk about, I mean, you know why people do it. It's for habits. It's not that 75 hard in and of itself, the 75 days is going to have an impact on your life, but what is going to come from it? Is it going to become a lifestyle change? And I always use it as
Amen.
an example. I'm personally not willing to do 75 hard because I'm not willing to give up alcohol for 75 days. I know that sounds terrible, but you know,
But no, no.
I like to have a cocktail and like to have a nightcap and those sorts of things. So,
What's your favorite drink, Jeff?
bourbon.
Bourbon?
Yeah.
Nice. That's nice. I'm working on
Um,
waking up earlier, getting to the gym earlier because my
you know,
routines are changing now. Is getting to the gym earlier.
I love that. And Carissa just brought that up. I love that you said that. My wife has been
Perfect.
doing that as well. The Bible verses in the morning. Andy, it's
Best time to
interesting.
do it.
The 5 a.m. club to me is a bunch of BS. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't work, but I've seen so much content over the last 5 to 10 years where the 5 a.m. clubs become popular, and it's like, to me, there's so many quote unquote influencers who say it's like you either do it or you won't be successful. And although I understand the intent and the idea behind getting up early and getting things done, I believe that it doesn't have to be the morning. It can be the night. It can be whenever you want to do it, whenever you operate at your peak. But what's your take on that? Because the 5 a.m. that whole getting up early mantra has really become a popular pitch in recent years.
Amen, man. It's what you do when you wake up, guys. That's the key. You can wake up at 5, 7, whatever it is, 9 o'clock, but it's what you do when you wake up. You're right, Jeff, because if you wake up at 5 a.m., 5 a.m., 5 a.m., but it's not sustainable for you and it's too difficult for your schedule to do, people just collapse and they don't sustain it at all, right? So you want to do something that you can actually implement and do with the actual schedule you have. So I'm more concerned, like with our first thing we do with our students is a morning routine. We're not concerned about when you wake up. We're concerned about what you do as soon as you wake up, from the moment you wake up to the moment you pick up the phone and prospect. That's more critical because you can wake up at 5 in the morning and be unproductive and still not do what you got to do, right? It just takes longer. I got some agents who are part time who are more productive in 2 hours a day than some agents at 8 hours a day. So it's more, yeah, I'm on the same boat, man. Wake up when you got to wake up. And if you can do it at 5 a.m., good for you, man. That's awesome. Knock it out. Get it done.
Yeah. But don't feel like you're a failure if you don't. I mean, and maybe it's
Exactly.
just me. Maybe it's just me because I'm more productive after everyone goes to bed. And so I end up till 11 or midnight working or getting things done. And instead of getting up, so there's an extra 2 to 3 hours there versus the 5 to 8 or 5 to 7. And I still get up at 6:30 or
Correct.
7, but I just, I mean, literally for a couple of years, I almost felt shamed by it. Like, if I don't get up at 5 a.m., does that mean I'm not going to be a part of the club? You know? I don't know.
Like,
I
come
don't know
on,
if
let
that,
me
that
in.
helped anyone. Yeah. I don't know. I just don't
No,
like, I
but
don't like
Mike,
getting up that early.
bro, Mike laughs at me because he's like, because I hit my stride in the PM too. So, 6 p.m., 7 p.m., 8 p.m., I am like hitting stride. Like, I am knocking out emails. I am getting all the, and Mike, he's going down because he's the morning guy.
Yeah.
He's up at 5, 6 a.m. He's cranking out emails, doing all that. So yeah, you have to know what energy you have and if it's serving you. Remember, I can do that at night also because it also serves my lifestyle. I don't have kids. I don't have, so you also got to see where you're at. Is it serving you? Is it eating into your family time? All that. There's so many different variables you got to look at.
Yeah. Love it. Love it. Love what you
But for
said
sure,
there,
I would
Hayden.
recommend is this: prospecting, working out, and your spiritual practice. If it's done in the morning, I highly recommend it from a habit perspective. So,
Yeah.
just overall, I would recommend that. Knocking those out in the morning. But like Jeff said, but if you're more of an evening person and it works for you, you can still do it.
Yeah.
But if you need a
Keyword,
recommendation, get it in the morning. Yeah,
yeah. What works for you? I think that's the keys. You got to figure that out. Because my wife swears by the
exactly.
morning routine. She's like, I need my time before you all wake up. And I'm like, you can have it.
All yours, honey.
Yeah. Yeah. Good stuff. Any other questions? Anybody have any questions? We've got some time left. We're happy
So
to keep
for
keep
some
going.
rewards, do you have some examples? Because agents are sometimes terrible at calling their past database or prospecting internet leads. Loan officers are terrible at making prospecting calls for real estate agents. What would be some examples, like little pieces of chocolate at the end each and every day that you've seen or heard before? Because people are like, oh, it sounds great, and I'm very motivated now, and I'm all pumped up, and shit, my desk needs to be clean. Clean desk, clean calls. Okay, let's go. And they keep on going down and down and down. One, I love the accountability partner that you talked about, but like, give me some examples of the little piece of candy at the end that people could strive for each and every day.
For sure, accountability. Because if someone's checking your work, you feel that fire, right, Sean? You're like, dang, dude, I got to at least get a call in. And that's another thing. So accountability, yes. And also don't hit a home run, man. just make one call. Just make 5 calls. Put a timer on. I have a timer here. When I don't want to do something, I just put the timer on. And if you see these blocks, they have times on them, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, right? And then have you guys heard of the Pomodoro method? Just for like 5 minutes or 3 minutes or 10 minutes, just put a timer on. You turn off all distractions and you stick to that damn task. That's it for 5 minutes. And you're like, that's it. I'm going to do it for 5 minutes. I'm going to give this prospecting my best 5 minutes ever. I'm going to give this CMA 3 minutes. Do whatever it is. And then you start off with 1 minute, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and then it increases because you start building that muscle, Sean. So that's that candy you're talking about. You give yourself that candy of like, oh, and then after you complete 3 minutes of a task, right, you can reward yourself with, a food you like, a protein shake, a song you like, dancing. I got some students who dance, or I got some students who like to water plants. So like I get to water my plants. I love it. It's my reward. I'm like, really? That's great. But my mom loves that too, so I get it. So those are those rewards. So your brain can start associating some pleasure with prospecting. Because if your brain associates pain, too much pain, or boredom with it, it won't want to do it. It's too much resistance. But also your script has a lot to do with it too. If you have a crappy script, you're going to have a crappy experience. You're going to piss people off. You're not going to do it also. So that's why it's also important to have the right scripts from a psychological perspective. But yeah, that's what I would do. This little timer here, get it on Amazon, guys. It's awesome. You put it on its side, the side that it shows, and it starts counting. It starts counting the time that it's on. See, 30 minutes. I can do here 3 minutes. 3 minutes. And then you just do a task that you don't want to do. And then the accountability partner, Sean, guess what? If you come to an agreement with that accountability partner, and then you increase the pain and go, if I don't make my calls by tomorrow, I owe you $20 or $200 or $2,000 until it hurts, right? Whatever you got to do. So start escalating that accountability, man. That always works.
Sean, if you're going to pay somebody to be your accountability partner, I'll raise my hand. I'm in.
Listen, and these times people don't really want to give up any extra cash. What we've done in the past is if somebody was an Alabama fan, they'd have to wear like an Auburn jersey and go live on Facebook or something like that.
Yes.
Or I've done with a loan officer before, like he hated to run. I'm like, hey, you owe me a mile, and you have to post on social that you're running this mile because you didn't do what you're supposed to do, and that's what you agreed upon. And sure as shit, he followed through with it, so it's good.
Get out of here. That's awesome, man. That is so cool. Yep. I love it. Because you got to have fun with it, guys. You have to have fun with it. It's a behavior. You got to go with it. And yes, it takes about 60 some odd days to change a habit, right? So give yourself grace. Give yourself a process to do it. But also get help, right? That's where accountability comes in. Any other questions about prospecting, about routines? Jeff is right. It doesn't have to be done in the morning. It can be done in the evening. Find your stride. Test things out. See what works. If you're still getting it done with your schedule, perfect. Do it. PM sessions, AM sessions, that's fine.
Yeah,
and try it out.
This will be the recording will be up in probably 24 hours. So if you need access, just reach out to whoever invited you here, however you got in. And Andy, is there any of these slides? Will we be able to put these up on the back end if anybody wants access to those?
Well, actually, I'll put up the link so they can download all the scripts.
Perfect.
Download the and then once you're in our ecosystem, you'll know how to listen. Every Tuesday at Prospect Live, you can hear me cold call live. Also, if you got every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Actually today, right? Today's Tuesday. Yep. So today at 5 p.m. Eastern, I'm prospecting live. I'm calling expireds today. So you guys can get to hear me do it, right? It's always good to bring your popcorn because people love to listen to other people prospect. It's a lot of fun.
It's interesting why that. It's interesting the psychology behind that, but you're right.
Oh, they love it, man. People just love it. So that's the key, guys. Just plug in. Jeff's got a ton of content. I got a ton of. We're here to serve you guys. Make things easier for you guys, right? Because You start implementing social media, marketing habits. You start putting all this together, man. Like this is what it's going to take for us to go to the next level together.
Amen. Andy, appreciate you being on. Jeff, well, where do we listen? He had the question.
Yeah, I just dropped it there. You'll see it in the
Okay,
link
got
tree.
it.
You'll click on it
Perfect.
and you'll see all like listen to calls, all that stuff. You'll see it.
Perfect. You said you put it in is it the Habit Guys /free?
Oh, sorry. No, there you go. It's another link. There you go.
Got it. There it is.
Boom.
Yeah. So grab, if you haven't already in the chat, grab those links. There's this free scripts. There's the listening in. Katrina
Oh,
just asked a question.
Katrina. Yeah. What habits do you find help new agents grow their business or improve them? Having the right conversations at first. A lot of new agents, because let's be honest, some agents sound too friendly on the phone or too salesy, and they don't have that right balance. So a lot of new agents are either like die hard on a script and they sound like robot salespeople, and other people are like, I'm just gonna say whatever comes to my mind and I'm just gonna be me. Oh no,
Hmm.
that's not a way to scale your business. You need to have a framework of how to speak to people, of how to get in and out of conversations. So you know how to say no to somebody and let that person have a decision to leave the conversation early. That's one thing we teach. All of our scripts have a way out early with the person. And we ask them, hey, can I ask you a quick question? And if they say no, you hang up the phone and you move on to the next one. Because a lot of agents try to just vomit a script out. Because I don't know about you guys, but anyone here get annoyed when they get a cold call from someone and they're just like 30 seconds speaking to you and they don't even give you room, right? They have no idea what you're going in, if you're busy or not. I find so this is a great way to do so. And a lot of new agents need to learn the right framework of how to have a conversation. Because remember, guys, all of us are running on a script. All of you. The way you speak right now is the way you were raised, how much money your parents made, where you were born, your background, the TV shows you watch, the music you listen to, all frames the way you talk, right? So if you don't like the results you're getting, you have to start also changing the conversations you're having and what you're getting out of it. Because I also get a lot of agents who say, Andy, people love me, but they don't send me business. That's a big one because you're too friendly. You're saying yes to everything. Remember, guys, you're auditioning for people to actually do business with you. So you also have to have a right mix of business and being authentic, being yourself as well, not changing, right? But also having a framework to how you speak to people. Being genuine, of course, you don't change your personality, but changing the framework. So that's a big habit, Katrina, that we see with new agents is giving them that framework so they can feel more confident speaking to people because no one taught them how to speak to people.
Yeah, and
And it's just cool.
if I can add to
Yeah, go
that,
ahead.
Andy, too, the Katrina, the one thing that I will tell you that is an absolute epidemic in our industry is the shiny object syndrome, and
Mm.
literally real estate loan officers the worst. And find your thing or things and commit to it at all cost, and say whatever it is you're going to do, I'm going to spend at least 12 months doing it, full well knowing that the first 6 months might be an absolute graveyard. Literally talk to anybody who go find whatever it is you want to do, whether it's prospecting, door knocking, mailers, farming, social media, it doesn't matter. Find somebody or somebody's doing it at a high level and go validate this. And they will tell you there is no such thing as get rich quick. And so whatever it is you commit to, put your head down, ignore the data, ignore the ROI in the beginning because it won't be there, and just commit to it for at least a year. That's the best advice I can give anybody young in the business.
Amen, man. Well said. I've done so many MLMs, Jeff, where I wanted to get rich. It just didn't work. Man.
Yeah.
So many.
They
So
exist in
many.
our industry. They exist in our industry too
Oh,
now.
oh, they do. They do now. Yeah. Oh, I joined so many MLMs, man.
Good stuff, brother. Well, thank you guys for being on today. Again, it'll the recording will be up. Make sure you grab those links from Andy. Get connected with him on his socials. Andy, appreciate you doing this for us, and look forward to staying in touch, brother.
No problem. All right, Jeff. God bless you
See you
guys.
guys.
Thank you so much for your time.